Sports bettors, yesterday was a little sad. So we had a bunch of plays that were close here for the 6 flex. I had 400 to win 10K. Just needed Connolly to have one more rebound, and this would have cashed. And then most brutal of all, where there were a bunch of plays with Cal Maker. Needed this guy under 3.5 shots on goal. I mean, we still got the double up for a lot of these. So here you can see 400 to win 800, but I think the Avs were up like 5-1, and he had 2 shots late in the third period. So pretty frustrating, but back at it today, and I got a ton of sharp picks for you. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. So diving in, my first play is Bam over 8 rebounds. So you can see here, and again, like a lot of people will be like, oh, why don't you just get to the picks? And I really try to focus also on education. If I don't have bets in a day, hopefully you guys are still able to find profitable plays. So you can see here, this is called the Odds Jam screen, and I'm looking at player rebounds, but you can look at any sport you want, millions of odds, really updating in real time. And what you're going to notice is right here, you can see Bam's line is 8 on PrizePicks. Underdog Fantasy, their direct competitor, has his line at 8.5. All the sports books also have his line at 8.5, and there's not a lot of juice towards the under. So PrizePicks is at 8. All the sports books and their direct competitor, Underdog, are at 8.5. PrizePicks is too low, right? We found value. We found an edge, so we want to take the over, right? PrizePicks is too low. We want to take the over. We found a market inefficiency. And again, this is all possible because all these sports books, we want to be unique. We want to be unique. So they set lines independently. So as a sharp sports bettor, you're essentially using data to hunt through the market, comb through PrizePicks. I mean, the tens of thousands of odds on PrizePicks, which you can see right here. You just really are trying to comb through and find those few rare betting opportunities where they're screwing up and offering too much value. 5 profitable picks. That's what you need. So a lot of people will be like, oh, what about DeJounte Murray? All the sports books, PrizePicks, they all have his line at 4.5. There's no value, right? You're just kind of paying the vig if you play Murray over or under in rebounds. All the books have his line at 4.5. There's no value. Donovan Mitchell, all books have him at 4.5. No value. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole, right? Like I say this all the time. All my results on PrizePicks, I updated this PowerPoint yesterday, are from data-driven sports betting. I'm never betting with my gut. 99% of sports bettors follow their gut. That's why they all lose money. That's why the books are in business. You should be, sharp bettors wake up and you go, oh, I'm going to hunt through the market and look for value. When I was a trader on Wall Street, you don't wake up and just buy random things that you had a feeling about, right? It's all based in data, and it's no different in sports betting, right? Do I want to bet on Bam today? I mean, I do, because that's where the value is. If the value were on John Collins, I'd have a bet on John Collins. But regardless, the screen highlights these line movements, and basically I just use it, compare lines ruthlessly between books, and hunt for value. So if you don't use PrizePicks, this strategy, right, looking for value in the market using the screen, it applies to any sports book, Bet365, BetMGM, whatever. There's gems on the screen. All these books try to set lines independently. You never know which one is going to screw up in a given day. You can find value on all these sports books. I focus on PrizePicks in a lot of these videos because it's available in basically every state and it's popular, right? So anyways, that's the first play I have. And again, all results are from 5 and 6 pick flexes. You're going to notice, just like I showed earlier, all I'm playing is 5 and 6 pick flexes. I've gone through the math, but I think it's so important because if you're playing 2-pick power plays, you got to change. Yesterday was your last day playing 2-pick power plays, right? So I give this example all the time, and I do because it's that important, right? Like, people love overcomplicating sports betting. Find value. It's really not that complicated. Investors, find underpriced assets. Find value. It's not different as a sharp sports bettor, right? But what you're going to notice is on PrizePicks, if you can win, right, your player prop picks 57% of the time, right? So if you're randomly selecting over or under for Tatum rebounds, you're going to win 50% of the time. If you can win 57% of the time, right, pretty good, right? Pretty good if you think about it. Hitting overs and unders 57% of the time. Your ROI, if you're playing 2-pick power plays, so a 2-pick power play, literally 2 picks, right? Your ROI would be, let's go back here, negative 2.53%. Negative 2.53%. You're getting killed. Whereas if in a 5 flex you're playing and you're winning all your picks, still 57% of the time, you're ROI is 19.3%, right? And I'll put this spreadsheet in the description, just going through the math behind the payouts. I've done this numerous times, but it's this important, and I still see people posting 2-pick power plays on Twitter. World hasn't learned yet. 2-pick power plays you can't touch with a 10-foot pole. So unprofitable. I mean, it's literally disgusting. But anyways, so the first pick I went with, Bam over 8 rebounds. All the books were at 8.5. Cool. What do I have next? So next, typically the tool I check after the screen, before the screen, whatever, is called the positive EV tool, the positive expected value betting tool. Right? So all this tool does, like all of OddsJam's tools, it's based in data. There's no inside knowledge about coaches, no BS. It takes in all the lines from PrizePicks and points out the most profitable plays. Right? So you can sort by profit margin, you can filter for specific sports books, specific sports. Some people will be like, I don't like tennis. Why would you not bet on tennis if there's value in tennis? It makes no sense. So you can see the highest profit margin play for the books I use is Josh Giddey over 19.5 points, plus 100 on Caesars. That's the play you'd want to be on in bold and in green. Then a soccer play. Again, why are you not betting on soccer if you're not? There's value, there's profitable bets in soccer. These videos, I mean, sure, they're about having fun. Gambling's fun, but they're about making money, right? So first play I see on PrizePicks is right here, bet in bold and in green, PrizePicks, 5 or 6 flex. Right here, that bad boy right there is PrizePicks. 1% profit margin, Andre Jackson over 6.5 rebounds. So I've said this, a bunch of times, but PrizePicks, they don't vary your payouts, right? Depending on if you select overs or unders, right? So you can see here, all these random picks I gave out, they're all the same. 10x, 2x, 0.4x for 5, 4, 3 correctly, and a 5 flex, right? PrizePicks doesn't vary your payouts depending on you selecting overs or unders. But we just said earlier, obviously your goal is get this number as high as possible. Your win rate on PrizePicks for each of your picks. You're looking for picks that are winning, well above 50% of the time. You want picks that are hitting 57% of the time, right? In a 5 flex, because then your ROI is 19.25%. If you're winning your picks 56% of the time, your ROI is still positive 11.9%, right? So what you're going to see is all the sports books are saying, hey, the over for Andre Jackson should be heavily favored. Right? They all have the over heavily favored. Minus 146 on FanDuel, minus 140 on DraftKings, minus 135 on Bet365, minus 139 on BetOnline. So again, all these books set lines independently. So you basically have dozens of data points all telling you where the line should be set. And all these sports books have the over pretty heavily favored, right? Around minus 140-ish. We're getting minus 119 in a flex. That seems pretty good, right? We found value. We found an edge, right? All the sports books are telling us Andre Jackson over 6.5 rebounds should be heavily favored. That seems pretty good, right? Because we're getting it in a flex play at minus 119 odds. So, for example, if you look at FanDuel, they have this line, minus 146 on the over, so the over is heavily favored. They have the under at plus 112. So you can put that into a Novig calculator. I love this calculator. It's the most important calculator in sports betting. Any sharp bettor knows what a Novig calculator is. Any profitable sports bettor is what this calculator does is it takes a sportsbook's market and converts it to the win probability for the over and the under, right? So FanDuel has the over juiced. The over is the favorite outcome, right? So Andre Jackson, he's always going over or under. He's always going over or under, right? So if the odds were the same, minus 110, the win probability for both would be 50-50. But because the over is juiced, you can see, based on FanDuel's market, the odds they're putting out, FanDuel is saying, yo, this is 55.72% to occur. So according to FanDuel, this is 55.72% to hit Andre Jackson over 6.5 rebounds, which would imply your flex play has an ROI of roughly 10%. If all of your picks, if every pick in your 5 flex was hitting at a rate of 55.72%, your ROI long-term on PrizePick would be 9.96%, which is roughly what you see here, right? So 11%, whatever. But you have to remember, PrizePicks has promos like they do today. They have this Taco Tuesday. where they lower Trae Young from 25.5 to 21.5 points. So they have some profitable promos. So probably without the promos on PrizePicks, my ROI would probably be closer to 10%, right? But with the, promos they have, some risk-free bets, whatever, bumps it up. And obviously I'm taking advantage of this promo where they're lowering Trae Young's stat line by 4 points. But long story short, books imply win probabilities through their odds, right? So if FanDuel, let's say, had the over all the way juiced to, let's say, minus 176, so more favored than minus 146, this win probability would increase to 57.48%, right? So this calculator just takes a sportsbook's odds and tells you how likely the over or under is to win. And again, if you're new to sports betting, that sounds crazy, but it's literally how markets work, right? This is how markets work. Like, for example, if let's say the over, all the sharp bettors believe the over were 2/3 to hit, then everyone in the world, every sharp bettor, every syndicate, sports betting hedge fund, they'd all be hammering all of these if the over were 2/3 to occur, right? Because when you're betting at minus 146 odds, you're betting 146 to win back 100, right? And you're winning 66% of your plays, you're going to be super profitable. So kind of a way you can think about that is maybe that wasn't the best example for newer sports bettors, but imagine you were betting at plus 100 odds, right? So plus 100 means you're betting $100 to win 100 in profit. So your break-even win rate would be 50%. If you're betting at plus 100 and you're winning half of your picks, you're breaking even, right? It's like flipping the coin with a friend for $100. Over the course of the long run, neither of you is going to make or lose money. The coin is 50-50 to show up on heads or tails. You're literally just trading back and forth $100. But let's say, let's say that coin were weighted 53% heads. Then betting on heads would be positive EV if you're getting plus 100 odds, because you're winning $100 53% of the time and you're losing $100 47% of the time, right? So it's no different in sports betting, right? You're finding plays that are mispriced on PrizePicks and you're taking advantage of them. So we're finding plays that are winning, 56% of the time on PrizePicks so that our flex play has a positive ROI, right? And you guys can let me know any questions if any of this was confusing, but let me get to my picks. So my first pick is right here, 500 to win 5K. It's a flex play. Flex plays are mathematically optimal. Never play a 2-pick power play. Smart, over 1.5 threes. Andre Jackson, over 6.5 rebounds. Luke Kennard, under 11.5 points. Adama Sanago, under 8.5 rebounds. Bam, over 8 rebounds, right? So again, this play on Sanago and this play on Andre Jackson, there's actually a little bit of an added benefit, right? Like, they compete for rebounds. They're both players on Connecticut, right? So if Andre Jackson gets all the boards, he has like 15 rebounds. Sanago probably is more likely to go under because this guy's getting all the rebounds. So that's called correlation. And that's an added benefit on PrizePicks because, again, PrizePicks doesn't vary your payouts. So here, kind of selecting an over in rebounds and an under in rebounds for two players on the same team is beneficial. This is the first play I got. Then second, I included that little Taco Tuesday. It's a max bet of $25, so I hit it for 25, right? Same play. All I did was I replaced this Bam play with Trae Young. So that's really what I got for you guys. Again, as always, the goal of all these videos is just to help you guys learn really how to beat sports books, make money long term. Is not get rich quick sports betting. That's BS. Like, these are grinding out edges, profit margins on PrizePicks. And whatever questions you guys got, I'm here for it. Let me know. See you guys soon.